Good morning, everybody. How are you all doing today? Today is March 12th. It's about 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. I hopped in a cab. I'm at my folks for a few days. They tend to make me feel a lot better when I feel a little bit down. I apologize for my last video there and for my burst on Twitter, but you know what? Sometimes it just gets to me on Twitter, and on YouTube, and a lot of comments just kind of bring me down. Nobody likes to feel like they're being used, right? And sometimes it gets to that point where it's like, wow, a lot of people are demanding things, and I don't know if it's within their right to, so anyways, I'm not gonna brush up too much on that. You guys know where I stand on that. I'm here to help out the community. I want to see you guys succeed, but at the same time, there needs to be a level of respect and reciprocation in the community always, right? So let's get to this. I'm gonna do an incredibly detailed Elliot wave count from the beginning, just to let you guys know where we stand. And there's a case of two counts that cannot be discarded. It's very important to always consider every single possible count, regardless of if we like it or not. So we know where the uptrend ended. It ended on December 17. So I'm going to do a very detailed Elliot wave count just to show you guys how it's done. So the way I saw this originally was waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you guys don't know, whenever you draw your waves on here, you can double click on it and change the degree of them as well, right? So you can click on degree here, you can make it millennium, etc. I usually like to use minor and minuet for the smaller ones here. So I saw that as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down, and I simply saw this right here as ABC, as the first ABC rather, going like this. And then I saw this as a truncated C, because a truncated C basically refers to Elliot waves coming down like this, where the C point doesn't really fall to where A is. The characteristic of a C wave is that it could fall to a truncated position, which is not nearly to where A is, to where A is, creating a double bottom, to a normal zigzag, and then to an extended C wave correction, which we sometimes get, but not really too often. We've only seen it once in the past 3 months, which is where a possible count is right now. And then because we saw 5 clear waves coming down right here, it was very evident. So keep in mind that people are always saying that you cannot overlap in waves, right? Waves 4 into wave 1 territory. But we have to remember the formal definition of Elliot wave for wave 4 overlap. And what that refers to is that the wave 4 can retrace to the wave 1 territory in a highly leveraged market. Phil is not showing his screen. I see my screen here fine, Paul. I'm not sure what you're talking about. This is absolutely fine on my end here. So we see this wave 4 overlap just slightly by a wick right into the wave 1 territory. If we actually draw our resistance, it's exactly where it is right now. What are you guys referring to? You can't see my page. I see my stream just fine. Okay, you guys are just trolling me. I'm just gonna ignore your screen, or I'm just gonna block you, okay? If you guys want to troll me. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys can't see it, refresh your internet, because my screen's perfectly fine, and I've got fast internet here as well at my folks. So now we see this completed, and this makes a formal ABC correction like this. And whenever I draw my ABCs, I like to change my degrees. I remove the waves, and I change it to, for example, a super cycle, or even a bigger one like a grand primary cycle or some millennium, whatever makes sense to you guys. So I see this right here as my formal ABC correction that has started. And everyone here thought that this was going to finally start an uptrend, right? And that it actually did. If we count the waves, we see waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this 5th wave was very evident that it was the very top of the wave. Now, a lot of people think that waves can only fail within waves or within subwaves, but that's actually untrue. It's kind of a myth for Elliot wave. What we like to denote as failure is, as long as the wave 2 territory does not retrace more than, say, 100% of the wave 1, then we consider that an impulse wave possibility. So when it actually retraced to right here, people thought that it was going to make an impulse wave up. That's why the volume started to spike, right? Everybody thought that it was going to make a wave up like that. It retraced to a typical amount here. I think it was 786, which was kind of the flavor of the month. So the flavor of the month was the 786 Fibonacci level. Volume started to spike there, but unfortunately it started to die off. And because it died off right here, and now the wave 2 actually retraced more than 100% to the wave 1 territory, and it broke down finally, we now consider this an impulse wave failure. Impulse wave failures happen all the time, and I'm just going to draw this well in advance. We draw the W to where the impulse wave starts, the X to where the impulse wave failed, and the Y position for the ABC. Now, just to give you guys a quick rundown of where it is and how ABCs look within Elliott waves. So we have our ABC like this, just as an example. And then we have an X impulse wave up right here, right? And then if that fails, we get an extended correction called a WXY. And these WXYs happen very commonly. And then instead of getting an ABC 3-wave structure, what we get is we actually get a 7-wave structure. So it goes something like that. Hey, good morning, Sam. How are you doing today, my friend? If you guys don't know who Sam is, make sure you guys are following him just to show you who he actually is, because he's a very knowledgeable guy. He offers lots of private lessons as well. This is Trade Devil right here, okay? This is Trade Devil. He's definitely one of my idols, and I look up to him heavily. I definitely look up to this guy right here. If you don't know who he is, follow him on Twitter, follow him on YouTube. He's one of the most talented Elliott wave technicians I've ever met in my life. Okay, so he's an awesome guy, just to let you guys know who he is. Lots of love and respect for that man always. And I know Sam counts his a different way. Sam counts his A, B, and C like that. But you know, sometimes Elliott wave technicians will disagree on a count, but we do agree on the majority of the things, such as this is where the actual end is right here. Thank you, Lucas. I really appreciate that. I really do appreciate that $2. It's gonna go straight to my dog. It's gonna go straight to her tequila fund, and yeah, she loves her tequila. What can I say? Get her a little bottle every time I hit to the Manitoba Liquor Mart here. So anyways, let's get back to this. I call this my W, my X, that will denote a failure in the wave. And here we see 5 waves coming down, making, or sorry, we see ABC here. Here I would consider this my ABC coming down. And then I would consider this my ABC going up to make the B wave right here. And that makes my A, B, and this is where the C position ends. Let me just change up the degree here very quickly. I should probably use different degrees. So I call this my A, B. We get a 3-wave coming down. We get a 3-wave coming up like that, like in a flat. And then we see 5 very clear waves coming down. In fact, it almost hit perfect extensions, I would say. So let's say that we saw just this wave 1 and 2 coming down. I would draw my resistance right here, right? And I would probably end up shorting it when it hit this specific point using a Fibonacci number of targeting 1-to-1 or most likely 161.8. So when it broke past this wave 1 resistance right here, or support rather, I think a lot of people ended up shorting it. If you guys make note of the volume right over here, it's very easy to see as well that as soon as this broke around here, right around this region, people either tried to support it or they entered a short position. And then as soon as it broke down right here, actually, where this support was, people definitely entered a short position. And the majority of people will target a 161.8 extension. So if you entered a short position from where it broke down, you would have set your stop loss slightly higher than this region right here, right there, right? So that's where your support, or sorry, your stop loss would have been slightly higher than it. You would have targeted about a 161.8 extension, and you would have made yourself a whopping 28%. This is actually where I started shorting Bitcoin a lot as well myself. I didn't exactly short it all the way to 6K. I more so panicked and I ended up closing my shorts at 7.5K. But if you guys have been following me for a long time, remember where I was drawing my ending 5th wave diagonals for this point right there, and we nailed 6K exactly. And that was such a beautiful play from the majority of us that have entered it. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, where we hit that perfect mark there. Okay, so now that we have our extension here, everything is cleared up. We have officially either completed a WXY correction, where we saw this as W, X, and Y. Thank you very much, Amir. I really appreciate that, man. That's kind of extreme, Amir. If you guys are gonna send me like super chat donations, don't go out of your way and beyond your means. You know, I have a hard time taking money from people. I always have had a really hard time. Like whenever I worked in sales, for example, okay? Like in my young university days, and you know, customers would give me like a tip or something, or whenever, you know, the goal is to try to sell it as high as you can, right? Don't mind my pops there. I'm at my folks, like I mentioned. My dog loves my parents. My parents are like in love with my dog. So I had a hard time taking money from people. So please don't go out of your way too much, guys, and you know, donate really weird things like that, okay? Because it makes me feel, you guys have no idea like how weird it is for me to accept money from people. If I ever get like a donation or anything from people, it just makes me feel really awkward. Like I used to almost get fired often from my sales jobs in university because I would always discount it so much because I just had a hard time trying to charge people more to get more commission, you know? So anyways, just thought I'd tell you guys a little bit about me. And then I know Sam also draws it like this, right? He drew his A, and he drew his B like that as well. So that also makes sense to me depending on how you see it. And you could have seen this as a waves 1. You could have seen this as waves 2. And right here, 3, 4, and 5. And I know a lot of people saw this as well as perhaps waves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So regardless of the way that you draw this, it doesn't really matter because you end up getting to the same conclusion where this is literally the bottom. Thank you, Gerald. I really appreciate that. So now this is where there's a case of two tails, and it's been blowing my mind for a very long time. Now I'm going to give you guys the bullish count that I believe it is. Okay, I personally believe that this is the bullish count, and if you guys remember during these days of mine right here, okay, these days of mine right here, I was super stressed out because I couldn't figure out the count, right? And I kept saying to myself, okay, if this is actually the wave 4 correction, which happens less than 10% of the time, where it retraces well above the 382. I know Sam's very statistical as well, and he keeps tracks of these stats. And we all know that 382 retraces between about 12 to 15% of the time only, where it actually hits 382 and bounces. Well, 236 to 382, I average it out to about 8% only. So it really boggled my mind. Pygo said, don't let the haters get to you. Some could be competition trying to get you to quit so they can keep charging for their trading courses. Same thing happened to me when I made a better app than others. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, man. You know, guys, all the donations that I ever get, it honestly just goes towards my folks or my dog. Like, I don't really spend a lot of money. I'm such a simple person. I'm actually thinking of like downsizing as well and moving to like a tiny little 400 square foot place because it's kind of all I need. So that's kind of in the air right now as well, where it's like, why am I paying like $1,500 a month for rent, right? When I can move to a tiny little loft that can be much more homey. So like, yeah, so I just want you guys to know that the money that you guys donate doesn't really go towards anything extravagant. I just kind of keep it there, and it just goes towards my parents as well, where I help them out a lot because they're retired, and you know, we're from Laos, and yeah, I guess you know, growing up to them, money was much harder. So now I try to be a good son and help them out, and just, you know, toss whatever to them that I can always. So I'm such a frugal person because I just have nothing I want to buy. You know, like, there's literally nothing I want to buy, and I just don't feel that money should make people happy. You got to find very different ways to make yourself happy, and I think that I don't know, I guess helping you guys just makes me happy in general, so I'm gonna try to keep it up. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked too often here. Thank you very much for the help. So this is my bullish count, where I said to myself, okay, if this is actually the count, then man, if this was going to make an ABC, it's going to make a very bullish ABC. It's got to make a super bullish ABC if this is the count. So we see the A retraced to right here, right?
to 382, which happens about 12% of the time. And then I said to myself, okay, if that's actually the A correction down here, then B even has a chance of making a double top. And double top it sure did, right? Do you guys see my logic in here? So we just have to deduce that if it only retraced a 382 amount for the A wave, there's a very strong chance that B was going to do something very drastically powerful. And that's exactly what it did. I don't want to break down the structure too much because it gave me a massive headache. So the way that I'm drawing this is just very simple, guys. We'll call this a 3 wave coming down like that for ABC, like a flat. And then we see an ABC going up here as well. An ABC, because keep in mind that the B going up always makes 5 waves only, okay guys? Don't ever forget that. It usually makes like a 335 type of correction. Whoops, I drew that wrong in here. It usually makes like a 335 correction going up like this. And then it makes a simple ABC. I'm too lazy to change my degrees. ABC, and then we see clear 5 waves as well going up here as well, right? We see 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with barely any overlap, which is perfect as well. And keep in mind that leverage rule as well, sometimes where wave 4 can easily retrace into that territory. So now if we easily call this ABC, then this to me coming down is a simple 5 wave where it made the perfect extension as well. C wave always has 5 coming down. Always remember that, okay? It impulsively moves like the equivalent of a 3rd wave as well. So this made 5 waves coming down, where 3rd had the most force as well. And we see 5 beautiful waves. We take our Fibonacci extension from right here, right? And then we short it as soon as we see it breaking above this wave 1 resistance or support right here, okay? Do you guys see this right here, the wave 1? That was a support. As soon as it broke down, do you notice the volume right here? Notice this massive volume. It's because people entered a short position once they've confirmed that it was a possible C count or another impulse coming down. So then what people do is they target a 1-to-1 extension and it perfectly hits it, right? I personally would take some profit here as always on wave 3 territory. I would take a decent Fibonacci retracement to wave 3 coming down. Usually I add more to my short position right around the 0.5 Fibonacci level of wave 3 right here. So you're playing with some house money as well. You took some profit here, great. You're now solidified with a really decent position for risk to reward. You've now added as well. Thank you very much, John. I really appreciate that. So you add your more to your short position around the 0.5 Fibonacci level. Sometimes I add it at 382. It really depends, right? But just to give you guys an example of something really cool that you may not know, okay? Do you guys notice right here that wave 2 only retraced 382? Well, what you can automatically assume, and it goes both ways, guys. It goes both ways where if wave 2 retraces very little, then wave 4 will retrace more. I forgot what the actual rule is, but there's it's called a theory of indifference of waves, I believe. I think that is what it's called, a theory of indifference of waves for Elliot wave. And what it states is that wave 2, I don't know, Jake, I don't know if I can get naked. I think the naked donation or the underwear donation starts at about 500 now. I think I prostituted myself a little bit too low last time, right? I was joking around about how if somebody donates $100, I'll show a picture of my underwear, and someone actually did donate $100, so I don't think I want to do that again. But thank you, Jake. I really appreciate that. You guys should follow Jake on actually I want to show you who he is, okay? Because he's looking for more followers. He's a really funny guy. He's a super funny guy. Like, I love reading his tweets and watching his videos. But this is who Jake is, if you guys don't know. He's Darth Crypto. Makes some really good videos as well. He's got a free Telegram group, very knowledgeable in the crypto industry, and he's only getting better. He's finally finished with Nano, right? I'm now calling the Nano trade close. He's finally giving up on it. So Darth Crypto is another really fun person to follow on Twitter if you guys are looking just for some more general people to follow, okay? So anyways, wave 2, if it retraces to say 382, you can count on wave 4 to retrace a lot more. So you can count on wave 4 to not be as bullish. That's why I was confused way over here, right? When wave 3 retraced 382, but wave 4 only retraced 286. So that was very, very confusing there. So make sure you guys understand this rule, because it can easily help you become successful with your short positions. And on the downtrend as well, it goes the same thing, where if wave 2 doesn't retrace a lot, wave 4 will retrace more. So let's say this one here only retraced about the 382, then you can easily count on the wave 4 to retrace much more to say 0.5 or even 0.6 or even to up to where the wave 1 territory is. So these are some general rules that I follow very, very well, and they've made me, you know, pretty good profit over time. And I was definitely playing this downtrend as well, right? Just from here actually I was playing it. So wave 2 here got to about 382, so you could have easily banked on wave 4 retracing up to about 0.5 but more than 382. So once you enter a short position or add more to the top, great. But notice this particular volume right here, okay? This particular volume right there, as soon as this broke right here, well, more people entered a short position, as we can see, right? There was a long wick that bumped down quite a bit in volume. People sold off, entered short positions, or the weak hands were washed out. And then what people did was they targeted the 161.8 Fibonacci level. And that's basically how you play the downtrend. So if I count this as 5 official waves coming down, I clearly see an ABC that's now officially finished, right? So this is the bullish count, guys. It's a very bullish count in my opinion. When we take in this particular structure of retracing only the 236 level, when we factor in the possible B making a double top here, and then when we factor in the 5 waves for the C coming down, and then we get left with this structure right in here. So if you guys have been following me as well since right here, right? Do you guys remember my call on Twitter where I suggested to people to enter a position if it broke above 8850 with volume, right? 8850 with volume was the criteria. So if you guys take a look here, right, the volume criteria was absolutely met. You would market executed on strength right there. I considered this my first wave, as you guys remembered earlier, right? And I mentioned there was going to be a possible third wave coming up there. So the reason why this was a critical number was it was clearly the recent swing high position, right? And then I mentioned that we would easily target around $9,500. So the play to have made was to buy it on strength right here, to target 9,500 roughly, and keep your stop loss very tight around 8,700, depending on where your tolerance level is. I think I even suggested 8,750. And then if you took that trade there, where you targeted the breakout of 8850 and went for the recent swing high position here, then you guys would have made easy 7% profit, right? So if you played $1,000, very easy $70 profit. If you played 10K, you would have made 700, right? Did I play it? No, I actually didn't play that at all. I was too busy with Litecoin. 10K is a possibility, James. Absolutely. Thank you very much, James. I appreciate that. It's definitely a possibility that we could see 10K in the very short term, and I'll explain to you guys why as well. So now that you guys took this scenario, you guys don't even have a reason to close your position yet. It was really good to ladder your position and take some profit in this general range as soon as we broke this territory, right? That would have been very, very wise. Now in my recent tweets, I called that top as well, if you guys remember, right? I called this right here waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm just going to review with you guys some of the signs of bearish divergence that we saw here, right? I'm going to go to a very low time frame to show you it actually, so you guys can also get an idea of how to spot bearish divergence. Always double click on your RSI to make your window much bigger. And what you guys see on the 15-minute chart, this right here was wave 3, this was wave 5. Now, if you look on the bearish divergence that I just pointed out, we're getting a series of a lower high, right? So keep this in mind and always draw your bearish divergences there as well. Now, if you've noticed right here, wave 3, wave 5, right? We're getting a lower RSI, so that was very indicative as well that we were losing strength around from wave 3 to 5, and that's how I personally spot my bearish divergences. I shorted it very hard, if you guys remember, right? I shorted like 3 Bitcoin here, and I closed my position actually only right here at 9,400. That's still okay profit there. I could have waited, but I didn't want to take that chance as well. Now, if you look even on the 10-minute chart, you spot bearish divergence here as well. It's very hard to see, but I'll show you guys what the key thing was on the 5-minute chart that gave it away right away to me, okay? This is where Eric Cho and I were talking, and he was going to enter a long position, right? But I stopped him from going into a long position because I pointed out these things right here to him. I'm like, Eric, that's a fairly bearish divergence here. And this peak right here where the 5-minute chart simply could not get higher, that was the signal to short right there. So if you count all of your 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and if you look at the bearish divergence, specifically right here, guys, okay? This peak right here, which I'll draw a line to show you guys, this one right there, it lines up with here, right? This was the point to signal as soon as we finished this specific candle, this one coming up right here was the sign to enter the short position, that candle. As soon as this one finished, so you would have shorted it from a position of 96.75 about, or 9,700 we'll say, just to get a round number, and then you would have targeted a reasonable Fibonacci number. Now, this actually really confused me, okay? So if this was the actual wave 1 to 5, we actually have to see this as very bullish right now, okay? If this was actually wave 1 to 5, and this made like a leading first wave diagonal like that eventually broke, as we can see, right? It eventually broke to the downside, and I see this right here as my ABC correction, right? So that's pretty good. Now what we can say is, okay, if this was wave 1 right here, it obviously retraced a lot. So by the rules of indifference of wave corrections, if this retraced to 786, it was very easy to deduce that this wave was not going to retrace as much. And we actually see it retrace to a perfect 382 level roughly. So that would have been a great place to buy. Or another really great place to buy for a short-term position. For a short-term position, if you guys took some of your profit here already, right, would probably be to buy it on the breakout right around here. Now, it's not the best risk to reward, but what you could have done was, you know, for the scalpers like me, you would have entered into position here. You would have probably targeted a decent Fibonacci extension. I would probably target right here. If you guys notice, for example, right here, we hit a 161.8 extension right there. So if you bought it on the breakout, the next logical target would have easily been the 261.8. So I would have targeted slightly higher than 261.8, right? And you could have got yourself a 3% gain and just go for a really tight stop loss here, and you would get something like 4.49 risk to reward. Now, it's not always about the percentage gain, right? For a day trader, what we try to do is try to look for many different opportunities that can be short term, as long as the risk to reward setup is applicable and very worth it. We hunt for these high probability setups that offer a pretty decent reward and very low risk. So playing it on a breakout, if you were able to count your Elliot wave, right, that would have been very awesome. So once again, you take your Fibonacci extension right here, okay? The third wave and the fifth wave can usually be derived based on the extension of the first and the second wave. And if you say to yourself the third wave actually hit slightly higher than 161.8, then there's a good chance that the fifth wave as well can easily hit slightly above the 261.8. So that would have been a really good risk to reward setup to take with 4.49. Even if you played like a $10,000 position, you would have made yourself, you know, $350 possibly. So that was a really awesome gain as well, in my opinion, right? That's awesome. So then, yeah, so now where are we in this structure, guys? If this wave is actually correct, right? If we are actually counting our wave correct, now we have to ask ourselves, what is going on with this wave right here? Is it really that bullish, right? If this is actually the fifth wave, is it really that bullish right here, where it's only retracing 236? Do you guys remember right here, where this one only retraced a 236 level of this wave right here? Well, it's happened before, so why couldn't it happen again possibly, right? And now we have to ask ourselves, is this making an extended fifth wave, right? An extended fifth wave is this, guys, where it makes waves 1, 2, 3, right? 3 is often the longest and never the shortest. And then it makes a fifth wave like that. But then the fifth wave ends up getting extended because it makes a really large fifth wave, right? And usually there's a lot of volume and it parabolically moves upwards. So these extensions happen all the time. And now I'm kind of confused about this count because I see 5 waves already. So I'm actually excited to see Trade Devil's video as well to see where other analysts are seeing it, right? The cool thing about Elliott wave is that there's a lot of different possibilities. There's always going to be many alternate paths and you don't know which one is always the right one and the best one. But we try to factor in all these alternate scenarios because what Elliott wave does is it assists us. It assists us with making decisions on where to enter and where to profit. What do I think of Trade Devil? I think he's the man, Chelsea. Trade Devil is seriously the man. Sam is the man, and Eric Cho and I talk about him all the time like he's God, you know. Sorry for make a religious reference there, but Trade Devil is seriously the god of Elliott wave on YouTube right now. There's not a single better technician than him for Elliott wave. And he yeah, I know, right, Simon? Trade Devil is so good. Like his penis must be so big right now, the way that we talk about him. And every time I live stream, he actually joins me in the videos. But his penis must be really big because, you know, he's a really good Elliott wave tician. Hygiene, we're not going to talk about hygiene, okay? If I wanted to talk about hygiene, this is what I would say. I would say this is a triangle, this is a triangle, and this is bullish. So when we get to the triangle, it's going to break out, okay? This is what hygiene would do. Hygiene would do this right here. And right? Do you guys see what I mean? Hygiene would say this is a bullish triangle. And Hygiene would say just buy it on the breakout of a triangle. Or he would say buy it over here, right? That's kind of it. He would say buy it as soon as it breaks this triangle, and that's it. But what an Elliott wave analyst should do is they should try to be as detailed as possible, right? And another reason why, right? Let's say we compare this and we draw it like that, right? Where we're considering some bull traps. I'm taking the peak of here, peak of here. This is a bull trap region. We now, oh hi Luna, how are you, Luna? My dog just came to say hi. She's so freaking cute. I love my dog. Yeah, but she's not usually with me a lot when my parents are around here, when I'm, you know, there. So yeah, she only comes to say hi once in a while here. So the way that I see this is we broke down by a wick. Every time we broke down by a wick. How many years did you play Dota for until cryptocurrency took over? Thank you very much, Danny, for asking that. You know, I was like over 6K in MMR, but I've been playing for about maybe, I played Dota since Warcraft 3 days, so a very long time, and I played Dota 2 since the beta when they released it, and I was like a really good player. And when they had MMR, like when it first came out, I was like over 6K, and then just, you know, I was playing a lot less because of crypto, so over 3 years, I'm now down to like 3K. So I'm a pretty bad Dota player now, but I play heroes like Earthshaker. I love Earthshaker. Echo Slam's my favorite combination with Fissure. I like playing Mirana, and I like playing I guess Anti-Mage when I carry. But what I specialized in the most was position 4, where I was roaming in the off lane. So yeah, so I hope that answers your question. I played Dota for a really long time, but now, of course, crypto's kind of like a video game to me now. I don't play it for the profit anymore. I more so play it for the just for the experience. So if you guys notice here, I hope that answers your question, Danny. I really appreciate the donation there. So if you guys see, every time we broke into this region, we bounced off of it very heavily, right? 2 massive wicks here, making like a bullish spinning top, or sorry, 2 hammers basically. One more bearish, the other one very bullish with decent volume as well, making a tweezer bottom. And you know, if we consider this right here our first wave, we have to remember the rule of Elliott wave that says that wave 2 cannot retrace by more than 99.99999% of wave 1. So we have no choice, according to the bullish count right now, to see this as a possible bullish count, right? And a lot of the times, what these first waves do is they make like a leading first wave diagonal, where it goes something like that, where we make some sort of leading first wave diagonal. So, you know, right now, 10K is definitely on the table for me. So if I zoom in to a very low time frame, I'll show you guys my count here that I have. The way I'm counting this right now is 3, right? And I'm hoping for a 10K touch. That's going to happen very soon. That's my ideal scenario. And let's just say that this wasn't even a leading first wave diagonal, okay? Let's say you guys went over to a higher time frame. What you'll see is it doesn't really overlap by more than a wick. If you guys notice, the wave 4 and the wave 1 territory, right? We have to remember the rule that in leveraged markets, okay? In leveraged markets, they are allowed to overlap. And Bitcoin or cryptocurrency in general is a highly leveraged market. So if we assume that this one right here retraced to, 786 heavily, then what we'll have to say is that the wave 4 territory is not going to retrace a lot. And this one definitely fit that rule as well. And then if we break it down to even more waves, what we're seeing is that, okay, well, this did make waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all right? It made waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 like that. This made some sort of ABC correction in here. Very difficult to count, right? And then we ask ourselves, is this a possible 5th wave that's happening right now? 2 and 3, 4, and 5, something like that in here. And we have to assume that it's definitely possible because this is the wave 1 territory, which acted as a hard resistance, which is now a support. And we see the wave 4 doesn't even get to here. So what am I interested in doing? I'm interested in shorting Bitcoin when it gets to 10K. That's the truth. Because then that'll make a beautiful first wave to me, where let's say we drew it a little bit differently. We drew it very bullishly like that, where the wave 2 bottom hit right around there, all right? So this seems like a very relevant count to me as well. And I have a hard way to see it any other way. Does this make sense to you guys? I would love for you guys to offer your opinions as well, right? Could this still be wave 3 though? Yeah, it could still be wave 3 as well. But if it was wave 3, how would we count it, right? How would we count this if this was wave 3? Would we end up counting it like this is waves 1 right here? Okay, would this be wave 1? And this is now wave 3, right? Is that wave 3 right here? And then we make a wave 4 and 5 like that. And then also we wonder if this was wave 3, why is this particular wave, the subwave in here? This one here, right? So let's say that this was waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one there. Why is this third impulse wave much weaker than the first impulse wave? And then we go back to our original rule that wave 3 is often the longest and never the shortest. And then we say to ourselves, okay, well, that could be wave 3 right here, as long as it is shorter than wave 5, since wave 3 cannot be the shortest. So we say to ourselves, okay, well, if this one right here moved up a length of $654, then the only way for this to be considered a wave 3 is if this one moves a lot less in strength. So it has to move less than, say, 650. And if that were true as well, boom, we still actually hit our 10K mark, right? So there's a lot of different ways to deduce how these Elliott waves can be counted. But the way that I've unfortunately have to count it right here is a super bullish count. Because you guys got to keep in mind how much we rebounded yesterday. We rebounded $1,200, guys, right? And if this was the 4th count right there, this looks like it could possibly be a really ugly leading first wave diagonal. So I have to adopt the bullish count for now. It's really difficult for us to not adopt it, but we have to respect this trend line resistance, right? Marius, I'm not even gonna get into Marius. So if you guys look right here, it's setting up for a possible throw over, right? You know, where we're getting close to the top over here, hitting 10K. It just seems like everybody wants to hit this 10K mark and then just let it drop, correct? And then we start finishing our next wave. So, or is this even possibly making an inverted flag, right? Is this gonna make an inverted flag if we got our wave count wrong? Let's say that we drew it wrong entirely, and this was the bearish count that's actually applicable right now, okay? Let's just say that this made a double top, as you guys can see. The bullish count is only applicable if we call this the B wave up there. But if we actually draw it differently, and trust me guys, we can argue this many different ways, where people could easily argue as well that this could be waves 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to make 3 waves there. And this could also make your ABC. Eric Cho has argued it already, and you know, I'm kind of confused as well. But if this is the bearish count right here, where the 5th wave is truncated means it doesn't exactly hit the exact mark, it more so falls short of it just slightly. So you can call this a truncated 5th or a double top, either way, right? And easily we can argue that, okay, well, now this made 5 waves coming down here like this, okay? Beautiful 5 waves. Whether this was waves A or it was the C that I called it earlier, it still makes 5 waves, guys, right? It still makes 5 waves. And then could we easily argue as well that this is the ABC going up? Because if that's the case right here for this Elliot wave, we are going to be in a whole world of hurting, because there's still going to be another ABC coming down like that, right? So we have to make note that there is a bearish count as well, and the bearish count is really scary, guys. I mean, if we took a look at the bearish count possibility and say 10K was the actual high, and we simply just targeted a 1-to-1 extension, well, here's our 6K scenario again, guys, right? DJ says he's a bear kind of guy. I am a bear too. I make the majority of my income from bear markets because I like to short. I find that, you guys know why I like to short? I like to short because I take advantage of greedy people in the market who think that it's going to spike higher. So I find it much easier to set your limit at a specific target and let people fill it, right? So I don't like to short into strength. I like to short where I project the top could possibly be. So now guys, let's go over even more things, okay? Now that we've done a very detailed Elliott wave count. So if you guys notice this candle right here, this one is called a 3-line strike, okay? Remember this definition, a 3-line strike. First of all, we see this very bearish candle here, guys. The moment that these 2 candles form, basically these 2 right here, this one here, you can call it a hanging man. I don't like saying that word, but imagine for a second a guy hanging himself, okay, and he's got a rope around his neck. That's where the name is derived from. It implies that the bulls are starting to lose strength, okay? So as soon as the bulls started losing strength, what a lot of people did, including me, was they waited for this next candle to form on the daily. And as soon as this candle formed, guys, as soon as we saw that, look at this candle right here. The reason why we call this a 3-line strike is because of these past 3 candles that have formed, right? Where this one candle right here is literally devouring all 3 of these candles combined, basically, right? Came very close actually to a 3-line strike, not technically, because it should have also, you know, yeah, it's definitely a 3-line strike where the range of this one candle completely overtook the range of all 3 of these days combined. So this candle right here signaled to the market that we're going to be in a lot of hurting for the next few days. Oh yeah, I had Bitconnect. I forgot. I have my tab opened here because I was ready to do a Bitconnect technical analysis for you guys. So if we take a look at Bitconnect really quickly here, we see that Bitconnect has actually gone up a lot. I remember we were at $20,159 24-hour volume, right, just a few days ago, and you guys see that we're slowly gradually going up in price right now. March 9, we're at $15,000. March 10, $18,000. March 11, the whole market decided to rush in. Look at this $3,000 jump right here, okay guys? $3,000 jump from March 10 to March 11. And today, guys, our 24-hour volume is actually up by $300 right now. Market cap is $22 million. There's probably a lot of people that are still holding very strong from the $400 mark. My advice to the people still holding at $400 is to keep waiting. I think there's a very good chance in 2048 for you guys to recover your money when Bitcoin is like $29 million. I think that the good number is Bitcoin to be valued at $29 million each for you guys to make a full recovery. So just hang on, guys. I think there's a good chance for Bitconnect to recover. Not bad at all, right? Like, look at this market cap, guys, $22 million. Like, who could complain about that? Yesterday's market cap, we were at $17.78 million, but today we're actually up, guys. We're up by a lot, by over $5 million. Look at this double-digit days. Like, this is running circles around other coins right now, guys. It really is. You guys see any other coins that are in double digits right now? Right? Maybe Monero. Is that what it's called? Monero? Is that NEM? Or is that a completely different coin? Well, you guys don't see a lot of double-digit coins here. VeChain, sure. I mean, if you guys wanna get rich really quickly and buy that Lambo of yours, well, you guys gotta focus on these double-digit coins. Double-digit coins like Bitconnect can easily soar you guys over, you know? Right now, like, think about the potential of Bitconnect, guys, if you guys got a lot of people buying underneath you. Yeah, so anyways, that's my quick summary. On another note, guys, in the past few days, we've actually added $22 billion to the market cap. We were at $373 billion. We're slowly getting over $400 billion again. A really good number to be at is over half of a trillion, right? So when we get over this $500 billion mark again, it's going to be a really nice round number for us to signal more investors to jump into the market. And I personally believe we're going to get a market cap of something like $3-4 trillion this year. You got to remember that last year in July of 2017, we were only at $70 billion for the market cap. So, and then if we look at the daily close prior to yesterday, okay? Thank you very much, James Lee. If you're holding Bitconnect still, just keep hanging on to it, okay? Yeah, I got to get my Bitconnect address up, okay? I'll get you guys my Bitconnect donation address up, and if you guys want to donate to me, I would definitely recommend donating in Bitconnect. I really do believe in the future because Bitconnect! What's up, Bitconnect? So it's definitely the future, guys, okay? So you guys see this candle right here? You guys see this candle right here? All the bears were probably like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I gonna do? Hey yo! Hey, hey, hey! What am I gonna do? So this candle right here literally made every single bear say, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then Carlos Matos came in. He was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this green candle right here. What am I gonna do? So right here, this is a really good candle. I mean, think about the range, guys. It went from a low of 84.28 to 87.29. We're talking about a $300 recovery in one day. We haven't done that, guys. We haven't done that in the longest time where we've done $300 in one day. I don't think we have even done that once yet. This candle looks pretty big, right? This candle went from, well, yeah, I guess so, but that's prior to it, right? Let's talk about since February 6th. No, not a single candle yet that has done more than that right there, guys. That's $1,300 in one day. Other than the lowest position of that recent swing low on February 6th, that's where we did a pretty good amount of bouncing $1,800. So how could we? Good morning, Zafir. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. How did you know I like Tim Hortons? Is it because I'm Canadian or what? I prefer moose jerky, to be quite honest. Yep, I'm still holding Verge, absolutely. So you have to give props to the market right now, right? This day we bounced $1,100, but guys, we're talking about a massive volume day. Like, look at this volume and $1,300. How could we be led to believe right now that we're in a bearish market still, right? That's why I have to make sure I consider that it's a very bullish market still. I think that if we break the psychological number of 10K, guys, around this cluster right here that we just are itching to break, guys, the market is just itching to break, okay? As soon as we break the 10K range, who knows? We might get very extended waves going up, and that's going to be a positive sign. So let's look at over the candles as well. I'm only going to be doing this one Bitcoin technical analysis for the day. I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm just here at the folks. I want to watch a movie. I want to watch Thor. I want to talk to Val. I want to have a little bit of cyber sex sexy time with her today. Oh, did I just say that on the live stream? I'm not really a big fan of pump and dumps, but the way I see, and Adnan asked me, how do I feel about pump and dumps, right? I'm not really a big fan of pump and dumps, but we have to remember what I do in the market as well. If you guys remember back in my ETP days in November and December, where my friends and I were putting up $50,000, $100,000 leverage walls. Every time we were gonna pump up Metaverse, we told you guys we're gonna drive up the market for Metaverse from $2 to $5, and that's what we did. And then we told everybody we're gonna drive down the market from $5 to $2, and that's what we did as well. So I don't really, pump and dumps, there's always gonna be people that will get burned, right? But the funny thing is, the people that they have no problem joining pump and dumps to begin with, but then they have this massive problem of complaining about it when they happen to be the one that didn't take profit fast enough and they lost money. So I see it as a double-edged sword as well. I'm not a fan of them, but I'm not against them either, because let's face it, what is the difference with a pump and dump and someone just adding liquidity to a market to drive up a price, right? I don't really see it as a bad thing and a good thing either. I mean, Palm Beach Confidential, they're very successful, guys. Do you guys remember their pump for Cardano? You guys remember their pump for Cardano for 88? You guys remember that, right? Where Cardano spiked like how many hundreds of percent in a minute, and it just dropped back down again. So there's always people that's going to be burned for pump and dumps. But I also argue the side that leveraged walls to move a very low volume market is actually no difference as well. Do you guys remember Ethereum Classic when it hit $37? And then I told you guys that my friends and I are gonna create these massive walls and drive it down to about 33. And every time there was a wall, I also tweeted that we're gonna smash this wall that's holding it. Remember that wall at $36? My friends and I chipped away at like how many thousands of Ethereum Classic, right? So there's so many different ways to see the ethics in crypto, right? So it just, whatever floats your boat, guys. It's unfortunately an unregulated market. Just make sure you stay true to who you are, right? Don't do anything illegal. Don't rip other people off, right? Don't do anything that you wouldn't like have done to you as well. And leverage, driving up a price up and down with leveraging, I find that no problem at all. People would argue that spoofing is actually illegal, right? In normal markets, you know, penny stocks were so abused that they had to regulate it finally, like in the most recent years, for example, but because there was so much spoofing involved as well. Well, spoofing is unfortunately allowed in cryptocurrency, right? You guys know all about Spoofy, who's got a few $1 billion of Bitcoin that can drive up a market up and down. If you guys don't know who Spoofy is, this guy right here, he's a very anonymous person in the world, Spoofy. Go YouTube him. Go watch him just fool around with prices up and down. Okay, my dog's awake, guys. My dog's awake. I'm gonna mute it for 1 second. I'm gonna get her riled up right now and make her say hi to you guys. Give me a sec. Luna, say hi to everybody. Oh, oh! That's a really good one. Oh, oh! That's so sad. Did somebody just abuse you? Luna, you want to say hi to everybody? Oh, oh! Don't do 3. Don't do 3. We only like to hear 2. Oh, oh! That's a good one. You held that one. I know you wanted to do another one, but you didn't. Ready? Let's do one more for everybody, okay? Oh, oh! That's a good one. That's a short one. We don't like those short ones, Luna. If you keep doing those short ones, I swear I'm going to eat you for dinner tonight, okay? Oh, oh! That was only 1, Luna. Come on. You got to know how to count the difference between 1 and 3. Ready? Let's go. Oh, oh! That's a good one. Last one for the viewers. Oh, oh! That's a good one as well. So anyways, I just want to get Luna to say hi to you guys. She's super duper cute. Yeah, so now let's talk about moving averages, okay? We've talked about candles as well, and we're getting a series of really bullish candles altogether, despite the volume lacking. Now, what is my criteria to enter? I will show you guys my criteria to enter. I'm specifically waiting for about the 2, 3, and 4 hour chart, okay? I see the 3 hour chart as well right now, slightly bouncing off of this 55 EMA. Now, I'm going to introduce to you guys a really cool strategy if you guys don't know it, all right? This is how you could have made bank. Really, this is how you guys could have made bank, okay? Look at my 55. If you guys have never seen it before, pay attention. Pay attention because this might very well be the most profitable strategy that you will ever see. And I kid you not, okay? Let's say you're playing on a daily chart. What you would have done way back in April as a good investor is you would have entered a long position with absolutely no target in mind. All you would have is a stop loss, okay? You enter it as soon as you see it fanning out like this. Look very closely where these are my Fibonacci exponential moving average numbers. This is specifically 8, 13, 21, and 55, okay? You enter at the price though, not at the yellow line. You enter when it fans out. This is my criteria to enter. Okay, when the yellow line is officially supporting below all of it. So here, I would have definitely entered around, say, $1,100, right? That's where I would have entered it. I wasn't trading Bitcoin much. I was trading a lot of other coins like Litecoin and Ripple back then. So you enter it when it fans out and you say to yourself, I will not sell no matter what. I will not close my position. Sorry, Divided Shark, I must have missed it. I'm sorry, I'm not really looking at it too much. Okay, I see it here, Divided Shark. Hi, Phil. I was looking at the DLW weekly chart, okay, the Dow, 2008 till now, and it looks like 5 waves up. Do you think the Dow profits can start a crypto bull run? Absolutely. But then again, you know what, Divided Shark? I'm not really. I would comment more on it, but the truth is, I'm not familiar with markets outside of crypto, right? So it would be completely outside of my expertise and my experience, and I would just be faking it if I could actually answer this question. I don't want to answer a question and fake it when it's completely outside of my expertise, and that's the truth. I don't ever pretend to know much more than I know. So do I think the Dow profits can start a crypto bull run? I've got no idea. No experience whatsoever how the S&P 500 or markets outside of crypto can even relate to it. I wish I could tell you, my friend. I hope that's the most honest answer that I can actually give you, and I hope you can respect that. Sorry, my man. I definitely appreciate that tip that you gave me, though. Thank you. So now you guys say to yourselves, I will not sell. I will not sell whatsoever until this yellow line now it actually looks something like, like this, for example, where it actually crosses over. Let me show you right here. Kind of like that, where the yellow line is now resisting all of it. And now what you would do is you would just ride it, and you would just ride it, guys. You would ride it until the yellow line is above all of it. Here, it would have came really close. Take a look at it closely, right? The yellow line is not above all of them yet. So you do not sell it. So what this strategy guarantees is that you do not take your profit too early. Okay, you follow these very set rules that I will not take my profit too early. So you could have almost taken your profit there, but you didn't. So awesome. You prevented yourself from selling, right? And now you're just going to keep going. Here again, it looks like the yellow line could have got above it, but it didn't. So this strategy now prevents you from taking profit too early again. So now you've just prevented yourself from taking profit too early. Okay? Do you guys get what I'm saying? It prevented you from taking profit too early again. Awesome. Here, it bounced off of the 55 EMA. I don't use 34. You're right. 34 and 21 makes 55. That is right, Rage Starcraft. This is the 55 moving average. This is the 21. This is the 8 or 13 and the 8. Now you guys are just going to keep riding it, right? You're going to keep riding it. This bounced off of there, so you didn't take profit. And boom, right here is where you take profit at the $12,000 range. Now, why does this strategy work, and what are some of the benefits of it? Some of the benefits is that it doesn't let you take profit too early, okay? It doesn't let you take the profit too early, but some of the drawbacks is that you might not catch the exact top, right? Because you could have sold it at $19,000, $20,000, but you could have also sold it at $2,000. You could have sold it at $4,000. You could have sold it at $5,000. So this guarantees that it lets you ride it to the maximum possible range before a downtrend. Then when you combine it with other indicators, such as, when you get to 20K-ish here, you get a massive MACD crossover over here, right? You get lots of diverging as well over here. Then that could have been a really good sign. So when you combine it with other strategies, you could have easily nailed taking profit at 20K. I was completely AFK that month. I wasn't trading in December, so I didn't play it at all. Why do you want to see the EMA colored line? Why do you want to see the EMA colored values on the scale? Why do I want to see them? Because it gives me, well, you have to understand what moving averages are first of all, right? They take a sample of the previous price history, and then it takes an average of all the prices. So my criteria to enter a long trade, we're talking like a very longer term trade, okay, is when on the shorter time frame, the yellow line actually supports below all of it. And I would love to see a correction, to be honest, right? I want to see a correction to the downside with a wick poking through the 55 EMA. So the ideal candles that you would want is a candle like this with a rejection to the downside like that, okay? So this implies there's a hammer that's resisting a rejection to the bottom side. So you want to be able to ride it on a small time frame, and a lot of traders will have different criteria to enter. They might want to enter it on 2 hour. Mine will be a 2 hour where I'm just waiting very patiently because I believe that a crossover could happen. If we look on this crossover right here, take a look at this, guys. Take a look right here, right? You would have entered perhaps anticipating a crossover, maybe even prematurely, right? You could have entered, say, around, I don't know, 10,400, right? Not the best scenario, but you can see what I mean by the 55 EMA is acting as a very hard support to all of it. So, you know, if you enter something like 10,400 right here, if you stuck to this one basic rule, some people, guys, only have one rule that they follow and one strategy. I've got some friends who kill it in the market just by simply following this rule. I've got a guy who will only use this 55 EMA strategy. He'll set his stop loss slightly below the 55 EMA, right? And he played it just like that. Sure, he didn't make the most profit, but it is very consistent, okay? You keep a strategy that keeps it very consistent where you say, okay, I've confirmed an uptrend and I will sell my position and close it when I've confirmed the downtrend. So, you know, if you're playing like a $100,000 position, guys, just as an example, yeah, like $100,000 position, just as an example, right? Or even $1 million. Some of my friends play big. Well, if you're playing $1 million and you're following this strategy, you would have made 7.93%, which is $73,000 using this simple strategy. I don't use simple moving averages. I only use exponential. I just personally like it a lot more. Yeah, absolutely, Robert. Robert asked, does this 55 EMA strategy work on a 1 hour time frame? And the answer is absolutely. It does work on all time frames. Every single time frame it works in. It just is a matter of what you want to do is you want to catch a possible breakout on a low time frame and then ride it out to a high time frame. If you guys notice, right, the 1 hour or the 2 hour has already almost crossed over. Well, the 3 hour has not quite crossed over yet, right? And the 4 hours even further away. So the more the 55 EMA or any EMA acts as a hard support below all of them, then that's going to be able to let you confirm an overall higher uptrend. Does that make sense? Ichimoku clouds are awesome. Boiler bands are awesome as well. They're very good indicators, Tim. It just comes down to what you personally like to use. Personally, myself, I only use RSI, MACD, price action, Elliot wave, right? And I'm also a really big level 2 analyst as well. If you guys haven't seen my level 2 videos, I've got about 20 videos there. It just talks about level 2 and price action and how we can see momentum changes in real time. Tony, thank you very much. Earlier, you said you're shorting at 10K, but then made a comment that the market wants to push through and may see extensions. Please clarify. Absolutely. We want to see the market hit 10K first, right? It seems like that's a very psychological number to hit first of all, but it's really going to depend. I personally want to short it at 10K. That's my personal want right now because I feel that based on the Elliot wave, right? Based on Elliot wave, we can only get to roughly about 10K at most around these ranges when we reach the peak, right? But if we get possible fifth wave extensions, let's say that I break it down even more. Let's say I break it down to where this is wave 1, 2, right? 3 right here, 4-ish there, and this is the fifth wave right there. Well, let's say that this was waves only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, if we actually got a fifth wave extension, despite us having 5 waves already, this 5 waves right here could actually be part of just the first subwave going up. And this is how a market can create a fifth wave extension going up. And these fifth wave extensions are a beautiful thing. So we never ever know. We never know if the 5 waves on the fifth wave is actually the top, or if it's actually just part of the first wave of an extended fifth wave. How do we confirm that? We confirm by a break. So I'm just going to delete this. We confirm, let's say that this does hit 10K right here, right? We just wait for this wave to correct. If it breaks below specific regions, for example, the wave 4 region here, then we've now confirmed that it is just a normal fifth subwave going up. But then let's say that we correct only slightly to a Fibonacci level. Let's say we correct to only, I don't know, maybe like a 382 or 0.5 level, right? And then we go upwards. If we break above where the previous fifth wave was, then now we've confirmed the fifth wave extension. So I hope that helps, Tony. So right now, I do want to short it at 10K. That's my intention, because I believe we can only get roughly there. But if a fifth wave does occur, right, I'm going to be very patient to confirm a lot of bullish pressure before I actually enter a short position. I'm a confirmational trader where I will definitely wait for confirmation the majority of times. A lot of times I like to catch the top when I see bearish divergences, but a lot of times as well, I'm very cautious. It's better to be safe than sorry. So I hope that answers the question very thoroughly, Tony, and I hope that helped you. I'm in absolutely no position whatsoever. I haven't made a single trade since yesterday, where I shorted Bitcoin from $9,700 to about $9,400. I've closed my Ripple positions as well. In terms of day trading, I'm in no position, but I'm still holding my Verge, I'm still holding my SIA, I'm still holding my Theta, my XLM, etc. long term. Yeah, a Shady, that's something I'm definitely going to do sometime soon. I would be embarrassed, Jose, to do a video with Trade Devil. He's just too talented, that guy, okay? So yeah, I think I've analyzed every single thing that I could already right now, right? We see it slightly falling here right now already. Maybe I've also counted my waves wrong, right? Maybe I've entirely counted my waves wrong and we're actually done already. So how are we going to confirm if this wave count is right or wrong? Just check out this region right here around 9,700, I'd say. If we break into this territory, like 9,700, and go really low, even below, say, the 9,500, then we'll have confirmed downtrend. Yeah, so where are possible swing low targets? Well, first swing low target was definitely going to be 9,500 range. That's where we had a lot of trouble breaking. So if you guys take a look at all these clusters right here, there, and we also go from right here as well, right? This whole region basically is a cluster region. Thank you very much, Tim. I really appreciate that, my friend. So you guys gotta make note that 9,500 is now a key critical resistance. If we break it, definitely expect some corrections for possibly the entire amount of here. So if we break 9,500, like I mentioned in my previous video, we can easily see a possible 9,300 target, possibly see a 9,100 target as well. So right now it's kind of a no trade zone. We've missed our chance already to enter, right? A really good place to have entered would be on the 15-minute chart. This right here, guys, always make note of the EMA. The 55 EMA is such a powerful number. As soon as you see it heavily bounce with volume, buy on it, guys, honestly, right? You just want to buy into strength. Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that. Buy into strength. You guys notice right here, right there, it bounced right off of the 55 EMA. A really important thing to make note of is that, okay, these series of candles tried to break below the 55 EMA and it just couldn't do that, and then eventually it was hovering above the 8, 13, and 21 EMAs. Finally, there was some bearish pressure. This candle right there, guys, the first bounce, take a look, okay? The first bounce of the 55 EMA, these ones don't even get close to it. As soon as you see a wick just slightly poke the 55 EMA, you can easily confirm that the 55 EMA is a very strong bounce and a very strong support region. So a lot of people, I'm sure, entered this trade as soon as this candle formed. They were slowly accumulating right there. They would have entered into a long position just slightly above the EMA there. They're probably targeting something like 10K, I'm guessing, just kind of a round number. So the people that entered this risk with this risk to reward scenario, who knows, maybe they're still sitting on it. Maybe they'll get stopped out, right? Maybe some people took profit already. But as soon as this 55 EMA bounce, that would be a really good signal and a trigger to enter. you would have targeted 10K, and this risk to reward scenario would have been amazing. So we have to make note of these tiny subtle little things in the market that allows us to time when we enter. If I entered a short position at 10K, it would probably be a target of 9,500 if it hit it. But my criteria to enter a short is only if we hit the 10K region, and then we do not do a fifth wave extension, and I'll easily target this range right here. So my scenarios that I've got planned right now for a short scenario is simple. If it hits 10K, short it as soon as we confirm it. Thank you, Niraj. I really appreciate that. I'll get to that in 2 seconds. So right here, you would just target or set your stop loss at about 10,100. Go for the most recent swing low positions that had activity. So I'm hoping, you know, if I played like a $30,000-$40,000 position for an easy 5.63% gain. So I'm really hoping for this scenario to work out, right? But on the plus side as well, what I'm hoping for is if there's a really big bounce on the long side, well, we would enter a long above 10K because it might signal a rally as well. Where would the next position be that we'd rally to? Probably to this territory right here, 10,400. So I see many different scenarios set up as well where this could easily hit 10.4, and then we set our stop loss around 9,900. Pretty decent risk to reward as well at 2.68. Amongst waves, okay, I'm trying to read this. Amongst A, B, C correction waves, what all waves has 5 subwave structure? Can you answer that? Yeah, I can definitely answer that very briefly. So when we have our ABC correction, it can be seen as many different structures. The most typical ABC scenario that we see is like this. We see a possible 5 waves coming down called a normal 5-3-5. And let me write this down for you guys. This is called a 5-3-5 zigzag correction. Actually, I should write all of it. 5-3-5 zigzag, and the B usually has, I'll talk about the characteristics of B in a second. The characteristics of C is that there's always 5 waves coming down, okay? So make sure you guys are counting the C wave. That's how I was able to nail the $6,000 mark, if you guys remember back in February 6th there. So the C always has 5 waves. And there can be many different shapes as well, such as leading diagonals, right? That can happen in the A position or the first wave. There could be an ending 5th wave diagonal that can happen in the 5th wave or this whole C position. And the B is where it's really hard, okay? The B, I'll show you guys how the characteristics of B could be. The characteristics of B is also the same thing as the characteristics of waves 1, 2, or waves 2 and 4. So let's say, for example, waves 2 makes an ABC correction. There's a very good chance that wave 4 will actually make some sort of correction like this, for example, like an A, B, C, and a D. And you guys know what that is, right? You guys know what pattern that is? Yeah, you guys know. That makes a descending triangle, right? Just something like that, a descending triangle. So this is called the rule of alternation as well, where waves 2 and waves 4 like to alternate. If waves 4 makes some sort of A, B, C, D, E, it could also be in a symmetric triangle as well, right? If waves 4 does that, wave 2 could do a zigzag. If wave 2 did the A, B, C, D, E, wave 4 could do the A, B, C. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because let's just pretend that this was the B coming down. If this was the B coming down, it could easily make a simple zigzag going up like that, A, B, C, and then on the A wave, it could make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside of it, but I'll get even more detailed. So this could make a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. C is always the same no matter what, in any position where it makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down like that. And then the B is also the same characteristics as all the other, okay? All the others, such as a zigzag, ABC, or it can do a A, B, C, D, E as well. So many different combinations as well. But let's say that none of those happen. Well, a lot of the times it can also make something like this, right? Where it's just going to make your simple descending triangle that you guys see quite often as well, right? That's a descending triangle. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck? I'd probably like to fight 1 horse-sized duck. Yeah, I'd probably like to fight a duck. I'd want a challenge. I don't like strength in numbers. Yeah, I'd probably fight a really big duck. I love to fight a duck. So yeah, so that's how the ABCD can be. And then the ABC can also come in like a flat type pattern, okay? That you guys see, where remember how I was mentioning, actually no, I didn't say it yet. This could also make a three-wave structure in there, just like how this could make a three-wave as well. So this one right here is called a 3-3-5 type of pattern, right? So instead of just having a 5-3-5, now this ends up becoming a 3-3-5. So we have to remember there's so many different characteristics. So if A could actually just make an ABC, then we also have to consider that this A in here as well could also make an ABC for a three-wave. So if this could make a 3-3-5, then we have to remember that from A to B alone can also make a 3-3-5. So I hope that that answers a lot of your questions there. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna call it, guys. I'm a little bit tired. I've gone well over my normal length of an hour there. I just want to thank you guys for everything that you've done to support me. Honestly, sometimes I just feel like a piece of crap online, like where people just make me feel guilty for not being able to help them enough. And I think the one comment that got to me the most is like, oh, if you actually cared about your viewers, right, you would try to reply more to them. But you know what? I try my best to try to get to everybody. It's just a matter of a time constraint, you know? So yeah, like here, guys, we're not even getting to 10K clearly, right? Like, what the? We already got to 10K almost, guys. I didn't even know that. This has been going for so long that I missed it already. Like, we already got to like $9,900. I didn't even know that, guys. So it seems like we hit the target pretty much already. And now we're correcting. Yeah, I had absolutely no idea that we even got to that range already. I was like looking for 10K, but I didn't even know that we got to 9,900 already. So guys, it's correction time. Target is pretty much hit. Yeah, keep an eye on 9,500 region, okay? Keep an eye on 95. I was gonna enter a short position near $10,000, right? But 9,900, I definitely would have entered it as well. Like, sure, we hit it a while ago, but I was just not really paying attention. Oh, I missed my short opportunity. Oh my god! I was ready to short so many Bitcoins. I would have shorted a lot of Bitcoin, but I didn't get to short anything. Oh my god! I missed out on a really big chance. Damn! Damn it! It's too late to enter a short now, guys. It's honestly way too late to enter a short now. I'm telling you, okay? So here's this possible support zone, 9,500. We're going to take our Fibonacci from all of the beginning, okay? All of the beginning. Right now, we're testing clearly the 236 Fibonacci level, which is also happens to be the 9,500 range. Now, I don't think that's going to hold, guys, to be honest. So I'm going to keep an eye out for right here, 9,315, this next Fib level, and this next Fib level as well. And make sure you guys also draw in your golden pocket, okay, for your Fibonacci. Draw in 0.65. This is called the golden pocket. Golden pocket takes advantage of a bunch of computers or weak hands panicking when they see it fall slightly below it, and the golden pocket catches it. So remember that. So I'm not interested in going long on Bitcoin anymore. I'm not here. I was interested in shorting it. Now I'm just kind of upset that I didn't get to short it. Yeah, I was so ready to short it. Jeez. So ready to short it, guys. You guys have no idea how ready I was to short the market. So now I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until the 382 Fibonacci level around 93.15, and I'm gonna see if it levels off there, right? If you guys see, the 382 Fibonacci level is a fairly key support region right here with a lot of activity that could have easily held it, or that could easily hold it. If that doesn't hold it, then I'm simply just gonna end up buying when it bounces off of the 91.30 region. So now it's just a matter of a waiting game. So I apologize if I missed the short. Oh man, I've been waiting all day, guys, to short it. Not all day, like I've been waiting since like 9,000, like I've been waiting a while to short it, like since 3 in the morning. I've been waiting 6 hours to short the market right now, but whatever. I'm just gonna go watch movies for the rest of the day, I guess. So when you miss your opportunity, it's too late, guys. It's just way too late, okay? You cannot enter on FOMO whatsoever. You guys missed your chance. Tough luck. okay? Because the risk to reward scenario is simply not worth it at all anymore, right? So now all I can do is just sit and wait for a possible bounce. Oh well, okay, thank you very much guys. I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I'm just gonna take it easy for the rest of the day. I'm staying off of Twitter though, but I'll announce if I do live stream again. So thank you for the questions, for all the support, and for all the love, guys. I appreciate everything that you guys do. Chelsea, the real Chelsea's here. I like Chelsea. I want to tell you guys about Chelsea. Okay, I want to tell you about the real Chelsea, not the fake one. Okay, this is the real Chelsea Lifts. She's got a YouTube channel with about 130,000 subscribers. I try my best not to watch her videos because she's just too sexy. And because she's too sexy, I just can't watch her videos. She's a beautiful girl. It's all about fitness. So if you guys ever feel like going to the gym, if you guys ever want to go to the gym but you're too lazy, just go grab yourself some McDonald's or something, or chocolate bars like me, and then watch her channel, okay? Just go watch her channel. Because that's what I do when I want to work out for fakes. If you guys ever want to have a fake workout, just go get some junk food and watch her channel and watch her do all the work as well, okay? So I just thought I'd give a shout out to Chelsea Lifts. Yeah, anyways, have yourself a great day, guys, and thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate everything. Bye now. Take care.